I run a 212 and a matchless head, and I have it up higher because it's easier for me to hear. If this cabinet was on the ground, it would be a lot harder for me to hear, and again, that helps me keep the stage volume lower. I want to feel the energy of the amp. I'm big on feeling that energy, especially when the crowd gets going. You have the energy exchange with the crowd. That's huge. So prop your amp up off the floor if you can. This way, especially if you're miking it, and this will give your sound guys more control over the PA and a better stage volume for the band. Okay, here's our snake. We keep the snake on stage, and it has, this particular snake has XLR inputs and 1/4 inch, so it's nice having both, 1/4 inch and XLRs. Now this has 20 different channels or 20 different inputs. 16 of them XLRs, 4 of them 1/4 inches. Now you can get your snakes custom made to whatever, as many XLRs, as many 1/4 inches. And this is about 100 foot, this snake. You can get 50 feet, 75, you can get them custom made. Having a snake is so important because every single thing that we run that requires a channel on the PA you have to have a line that goes to the PA. For instance, I mic the guitar amp. That's one line that goes to the PA head. You have a vocal mic, there's another one, another vocal mic, another one. So you have all these lines, the bass gets mic'd, that goes to the head. All these things that you're controlling individually at the board is a separate line or a separate wire, a separate input. The snake, what this does is it allows you to run all that stuff right to the snake, have it numbered, and then just run one wire, this big thick one right here, to the board. That's it. Just one, as opposed to having run every single one all that distance. And then you have to have incredibly long cables. So having the snake saves a lot of time, it keeps your cables shorter, and everything is numbered. So if I have I plug into here number 17, then I run the snake to the board, and then on the other end of it we have it numbered 17. Okay, 17 is David's guitar, plug it into channel 5, and there you have it. So everything can get run to the snake, and then you run one wire to the head. And if you look here, I'll show it to you. So here's the snake wire here. This is running to our PA head, our mixer. As you can see, this way we don't have 15 different wires. It's just one wire running to the PA. And if you follow it all the way, so here's the rest of our snake. And as you can see, here's where it opens up, and then you have all your individual wires that come out of the snake. It makes it so much easier. One big snake run to the stage, then 20 individual wires run to the back of our PA. And if you're buying a snake, and with all your other PA equipment, you know, when you're buying a snake, make sure you get one that's real heavy duty, because you're going to have to put this across the floor, tape it down, people are going to be stepping on it. You want something really durable. And also, you want something made well. The ends break, they're not breaking all the time, you don't have to constantly have it repaired. If you notice here, everything is numbered. 19, 18, 5, 4, 3. All of those numbers correspond to the number back at the actual head of the snake, which we have on the stage. So it makes it very easy. And after a while, your sound guy, or if you're doing it, you always know, okay, number 1 is vocal mic 1, number 2, vocal mic 2, number 5, guitar, and it makes setup so much easier. Just a couple other broad brushstrokes when talking about PA systems and equipment is a lot of your choices on what you're going to buy are going to depend on application. You want to narrow your choices down because there's so much stuff out there. There's so many choices. The technology is getting better and better. So the first thing you want to take into consider is what's the application? Do you just need it for playing in a practice room? Do you need it for a small size club? Do you need it for a large size club? That will tell you you don't want to have a huge PA system with an amazing amount of watts if you're just using it in a small practice room. So funnel your choices down. The other thing is also funnel it down by budget. Obviously, if you have a $5,000 budget, don't be looking at a $15,000 PA system. Be wary of that, because when you go to buy one, sometimes they'll try to upsell you at your music store. So you want to have a budget in mind, and you also want to have application in mind, and also think durability. Your PA system, if you're playing out a lot, takes a tremendous beating. So if you want to mic your guitar amp, with a tube amp, you're going to want to mic it, as opposed to if you're running solid state or digital, then you could run direct. I use mainly tube amps, so I run everything and I mic it. Good mic placement is you feel for your speaker, and the sweet spot is you can find the dead center of the speaker. I like miking it about midway between the center point and the end of the speaker. So I'll be miking this right about here. Not right on the end, not in the center of the cone, but about half the distance in between. It's important to mic your tube amps because your tube amps, you're going to want to get them hot, get them loud, get the voltages really cranking, get the tubes talking back and forth to one another, and that's going to give you your maximum tone. Tube amps are generally made to be run hot, wide open. In fact, they even say it in the owner's manual, this amp runs very hot. They even say, don't put a fan behind it, don't try to cool it. You want it to get hot, get those tubes really cooking. So you want to mic that. And there you have another line that's running to your PA system. And even have that EQ. And probably one of the most important things on this one is you have your beer cup holder. So that's pretty important. So just pop your drink right inside the holder right there. That's big. That's pretty huge. Remember, keep all the vocal mics back behind the main speakers. That's critical or you're going to get feedback. And make sure your monitors are loud enough so who's ever singing doesn't feel like they have to scream, because that's going to wear their voice out really, really fast. A little bit about my guitars that I bring to most shows. I usually bring about 3 guitars to each show. I like having a Strat guitar and a Les Paul for the different tones I like getting out of each. And I usually have them in different tunings. Sometimes this will be in drop D, I might have one in drop C and one in standard tuning, or I keep 2 in standard tuning in case I break a string. But I always have, usually at every show, at least 3 guitars because I like to have backup. I kick really hard, and if I bust a string, I want to just be able to grab something really, really fast. And I'm back in action. Tuned differently, but every guitar, because I have different pickup combinations, give me a little different tone, which I'm looking for different songs. So always have a backup. Remember, I'm big on if it can break down, it will. So you want to make sure you have backup. Here's a basic look at, for this particular show, what I'm using as far as my pedal system, which is pretty basic. I generally don't use a lot of effects, but I like having a wah that I run right out of my guitar. This is a Zach Wild wah pedal. I really like this wah pedal. It's simple and basic. Step on it, it's on. Click it off. I don't like wahs that have 2, 3, 4 different kinds of effects on them. I think they try to jam too much in them. But this is a really good sounding wah. And then for the band I'm playing with tonight, I use a multi-effects pedal because I need to get lots of different delays and lots of different sounds where I'm adjusting different distortion levels and whatnot, and this allows me to do that. Otherwise I'd have to have 7, 8, 9 stomp boxes, and I don't want to do that to carry all that around. So I use a multi-effect pedal. This is an old one by Boss. This is an ME8, and I use basically a lot of different levels of gain for heavy distortion, light distortion, medium, clean, some choruses, and some funky sounds if I need a special sound for a given song. And then I have my foot switch for my head. The head I use, the matchless head, is 3 channels. So I have 3 channels that I can use. I usually have one set on clean, and then I have another one which is my lead tone, and then I have like a distorted rhythm. So anytime I can just pop, pop, change channels. It's the matchless is set up where there's no latency. Step, got a different channel, and with this I have all the different sounds I need. If I'm playing in a different band, I might use separate stomp boxes. I'm not a huge effect guy, but I do use a little bit more for color. So it's a pretty simple system, but very, very effective.